All for being here. Hopefully, will you please stand for the invocation and the presentation of the colors?
Would you please join me in prayer? Our dear Father in heaven, we're so grateful for this opportunity to gather tonight, grateful for this democracy for which we all stand for, thankful for the many blessings of all those that protect us, from the police departments to the fire departments to our public works departments to our military. Father, bless them and bless them with safety. Father, help us to have thy Spirit with us tonight as we make decisions for this great community, that we might be inspired to do what's best for this city. And we pray for these things in the name of thy Holy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. I want to present the Carl Albert Air Force ROTC Color Guard. They're going to present the colors and lead us in the presentation, or the Pledge of Allegiance.
Order. March. Colors. Breathing. Colors.
I pledge allegiance
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Carry. Colors. Ready. Set.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a hand. They appear at every function at the high school, plus every football game. They're just like the band; they're constantly busy. So, and we appreciate their participating in our council meetings. Okay, we've got a couple of proclamations we need to get through. So, Miss Eads, would you join me down front, please? Do I need a microphone? If not, that's cool too. All right. This is Susan. She's represented Ward 1 for the last 9 years. I appointed her when I first came into office. I don't know if I did you any favors or not. But she served the city of Midwest City and her ward very well. She was an active proponent of Ward 1 and ensuring that we did everything possible for the citizens of Ward 1. She has decided to, for personal reasons, resign and not run for office again, which I don't blame you. But
Takes one to know one, right?
yes, it does. We're both punching out. So anyway, as tradition has it, we do a proclamation in honor of her service. So whereas Susan Eads was first appointed to Ward 1 Council on January 24th, 2017, and later re-elected in 2018 and 2022. And has faithfully represented the far southeast corner of Midwest City, including the original Square Mile neighborhood, major retail areas, and southern boundary of Tinker Air Force Base. Whereas her years of service, Susan has invested deeply in her community, numerous communities, neighborhood programs, improvements to the city services, making lasting contributions to the quality of life of Ward 1. Whereas she was a tireless volunteer at community events such as Trick or Trunk, Holiday Lights. You gonna do that again this year?
Yes, sir.
Great.
Drive the golf cart every year with my beautiful daughter.
There you go. Often assisting residents with information and mobility needs, and she consistently sought ways to strengthen connections between the citizens and their city government. Whereas Susan was a passionate advocate for parks, addressing maintenance concerns, supporting staff, and championing new ideas to enhance safety and amenities for all residents. Therefore, I, Matthew Dukes, Mayor of Midwest City, who do hereby proclaim October 28, 2025 as Council Member Susan Eads Day. Finally get a day.
Excellent.
And recognize her honorable service and her dedication and leadership to the citizens of Midwest City. And I encourage everyone to congratulate her on her service and congratulate her on her new endeavors. Party trick.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you. I don't know if I get to say something, but I'm going to speak just really quickly.
Well, yeah, the floor is yours, Ms. Eads.
So first and foremost, I want to thank my daughter for always supporting me through this endeavor, through tough times and good times both. I want to thank you for entrusting me to be appointed initially in 2017. I want to thank the city manager who tirelessly works for the benefit of the city, along with the wonderful, wonderful staff members. I'm going to miss getting to work with all of you all. I want to thank Pat Byrne, the Ward 2 council member and vice mayor, who works harder than any other council member and works tirelessly for the benefit of not just the Ward 2 constituents, but also for the whole of Midwest City, and who has served as a mentor and friend to each one of us to come on the council. And we have not always on the council agreed with all measures, but we've had an honorable respect for each other, and Pat is the most shining example of that. So I want to be sure and thank him for his service and for his friendship and his mentorship, along with his beautiful wife, Susie, who is also an advocate for our community. I want to thank my surrogate family for being here also. These girls and Nick are the joy of my life, and so I'm so thankful for them, and I'm thankful for the neighbors, friends, constituents of Ward 1 who entrusted me to do this position for the last almost 9 years. And so it's with profound thanks that I leave you all, and I won't be far away because I drug these girls to come live in Midwest City. My daughter is a Midwest City resident, as am I, and we're not going anywhere because this is the best community. And I thank everybody who works so hard to make it that. So thanks so much. Appreciate it.
You know, when you get 7 type A personalities up here, it doesn't always go well. But the consistent thing that's always come forward is all of us have agreed to do what's best for the city as a whole. And again, thank you for your service, Susan. It's been a hoot. And you can tell Tim the same thing I told him. If they do something stupid, we'll be in the gallery telling them about it, right? All right, another special. That's something I failed to do. Yes, ma'am, I'll have to start remembering to do that. Brittany, you're supposed to remind me to bring her.
I got that on record, right?
Seth Brown. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Seth Brown. Retired Midwest City police officer.
Retired, yep.
And we're getting around to it. But, Seth has been with the police department over 20 years. I worked with him before I retired. In fact, you were a rookie. Big
I was a
time.
little guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been an asset to the department, and we're sorry to see him go, but as tradition would have it, when we have employees that retire and give most of their adult life to the city, we like to recognize them. So whereas Seth Brown is retiring after more than 20 years of dedicated service to the Midwest City Police Department, having joined the force as a police officer on December 4th, 2008, earning a promotion to sergeant 4 years later. Whereas Seth Brown has served as senior member of the SWAT team, as firearms instructor, where his knowledge and expertise has been invaluable to the department and have strengthened the training and readiness of fellow officers. Whereas throughout his career, Sergeant Brown has earned the respect of peers, superiors, and the like, demonstrating professionalism, sound judgment, and commitment to fulfilling his duties, always completing assignments with diligence and excellence. Whereas Sergeant Brown embodies the principles of community policing by engaging with residents and business owners, volunteering for additional responsibilities, and treating all individuals with fairness, impartiality, and respect, even when confronted with challenging situations. Therefore, I, Matthew Dukes, Mayor of Midwest City, do hereby proclaim Sergeant Brown Day, 29th of October, 2025. And I ask that you congratulate him on his retirement and thank him for his service to this community and the service to the Midwest City Police Department. You gotta do a party trick.
Can I say something real quick?
You bet. The floor is yours, Mr. Brown.
I just wanted to tell you guys thank you for hiring me way back then and giving me a chance. I enjoyed my time with Midwest City, and I'll always have fond memories of it. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Bet.
That's the fun part of our job. Okay, everybody take a breath and relax, because we're fixing to change things a little bit. Due to time constraints and appreciation for our time, I'm going to call to order the Special Economic Development Authority first. And with that, we will ask Shana to come forward. Shana is the Executive Director of the Midwest City Chamber of Commerce, and she's going to come forward with her quarterly report to the council. Shana, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to be here today and to update you on the amazing Chamber of Commerce that we have here in this amazing community. The Chamber is strong. We have we have seen a decline in a little bit of our membership. However, that is because we are bringing a little bit more legitimacy to our memberships and dropping our members or non-members after they have not paid for more than 90 days. We are reaching out to them, ensuring that we're getting them involved in the community and in our events. However, there is just some operations, and we need to be respectful of those that we do have members. So we did see a bit of decline in our membership, but as we were cleaning up our books, we did still retain over 96% of our members, as well as 98% of our dollars through our membership. So incredible retention numbers in the Chamber of Commerce world, and we are constantly bringing on new members. So we have a goal this year of 50. As of the report that you received October 1, we were sitting at 19, and now we're very excited to report that we are over 30. We are a small team of 3, and we're involved in a multitude of events, of course. Pardon me. As you know, back in April, we hosted Leadership Midwest City, where we graduated 18 participants through that class. That class celebrated its 36th anniversary this year, so we're very excited to bring on Leadership Class 37. Those applications will go live on November 3rd, and we'll close the last week of November, and then we will release that leadership class in December and begin those classes. It is a 12-week course, and we'll begin that at the end of January, and then graduate them in April, where we have our capstone event of Taste of Midwest City. This year, the leadership class raised over $20,000, all going back into our nonprofits. We were able to support nonprofits like Leah's Hope, Soul Survivor Supportive Living Foundation, the YMCA, and please pardon me, there is one more. I can't remember it either. I wrote it so long ago. And we're very excited. The leadership class has this amazing program to go through to learn about city government, to learn about our community programs, but then to put on our spectacular taste and to give that money back to our nonprofits. We have hosted over 15 ribbon cuttings this year. We have a lunch bunch that we host the first Friday of every month. This is a complimentary event, and it is open to the public. It is just about supporting local. It's about shopping Midwest City and ensuring that our membership is being embraced with attendance of the chamber, our ambassadors, our board members, and of course, all of our residents. We've also hosted several Sunrise Socials, business after hours, an all-member meeting, and a legislative forum with Congressman Tom Cole. All of these are efforts to ensure that we're connecting our business owners, that we're creating leaders within the community, and that we're working together to solve the problems of our nonprofits. Several community partner events. Of course, the Chamber, we're a little bit of everywhere, so we're supporting things like the Rose State College Foundation, our Middale School Teacher Convocation, and our Fill the Bus campaign this summer was absolutely incredible. We partnered with Crest Foods, Sam's Club, and Walmart on 23rd Street to collect donations for that Fill the Bus campaign, and this year we doubled the amount of donations that we have in the last 3 years. It's always great to be able to go back to the schools and to deliver those items. We know, of course, our food pantries in all of the schools, and then supplies are needed throughout the school year as well. Let's see here. Of course, before we get into the big shindig of Tinker and the Primes, we have been very active on our military affairs side of things. This year, I was honored to be selected as the civilian leader for Tinker Air Force Base, and I attended the National Security Forum in May. I feel that I represented Midwest City and our business leaders very well, while also learning some not so secrets, but all of that, that conference itself certainly helped me gain the knowledge that I needed to in the military realm to put on our spectacular Tinker and the Primes conference. Again, I'll get to that, and I do have a lovely video to show you as well. Our partnership remains strong with the U.S. Navy and the Takoma community, as well as the Navy League of Oklahoma City. We have, over the last 5 years, we have brought their golf tournament here to the city of Midwest City. We've hosted their Navy Ball 4 of the 5 years. And then, of course, we have a Battle of Midway picnic that we host at Regional Park in June as well. Great ways, great events to be able to support our military, but ensure they're staying here in Midwest City. Let's see here. Before we get into Tinker and the Primes, I am an active board member for the Oklahoma Chamber of Commerce Chamber of Commerce Executives. That is our local state association of other chamber professionals. This year, I was nominated for the second year in a row of Executive of the Year. Sadly, I did not bring home that trophy, but that's all right. We're going to keep on moving through. My team did bring home a Communications Excellence Award for our sponsorship guide and our leadership program. 2 very successful programs that we are excited have gotten recognition, but also help us pump dollars back into our community. Let's see. Lastly, we are at Tinker and the Prime. So this year we celebrated our 20th anniversary. 20 years that we have hosted Oklahoma's largest and now oldest aerospace conference. The aerospace industry in Oklahoma is $44.2 billion. A lot of that, of course, comes from across the street. However, we have a lot of aerospace companies here, and the Chamber is excited about our conference has certainly been proven as a success as we've gotten numerous aerospace companies to relocate. Currently, I'm working on one out of Kansas that's looking for a satellite office here in the Midwest City area. We are excited about these leads and, of course, work hand in hand with Robert Coleman to ensure that we are not only bringing aerospace companies to Oklahoma, but specifically to Midwest City. This event saw our attendance numbers this year was 1,475 people. That is our maximum. We have done everything that we can to ensure that we are obeying by the fire marshal while also moving people in and out of the building. I think that might be some of the highest attendance that the Reed Center has seen. With that, we had over 83 aerospace exhibitors. This is those who were on the event floor. However, over 140 aerospace companies were represented at that conference, whether they were there as an attendee or an exhibitor, a sponsor of other sorts. Over the last 5 years, this conference has only gained international momentum. We've had over 7 countries attend: Germany, France, Spain, Australia, India, Dubai, and there's one more. We are excited that we are putting Midwest City on an international map. This is a very highly anticipated conference that we are proud to host at our beautiful gym of the Delta Reed Center. We estimate, based on the economic development reports that we have seen, that we're bringing in anywhere between $246 and $350 per person per day with this 3.5-day conference. This year, it was a little bit more difficult, of course, with the way that our federal government has had its hiccups and stumbles and struggles. We certainly struggled as well. We were very afraid that this conference was not going to be supported by the U.S. government, and we did see a decline in our speakers. For example, last year we had the Secretary of the Air Force as our keynote speaker, and this year we weren't able to get those Pentagon speakers. However, we were able to make another connection, and we brought in the Trade Commissioner from Western Australia, who is very interested in not only Oklahoma, but U.S. businesses preparing in Australia maintenance, repair, and overhaul facilities so that we can repair and sustain our airplanes faster overseas than trying to get them back home and repairing them. So some huge successes that the Chamber is involved in on that aerospace front. We are excited that Midwest City is the leader. We have got a lot of eyes on us because of this conference, and we know that this only means that more economic development is to come. Companies are wanting to relocate here. So as we continue to build our relationship with Tinker, we want to ensure that those businesses know that Midwest City is the force behind aerospace, and that we're open for business. So if you would like, we do have a recap video. Mr. Zach Challenger is here. He is with ZXC Media. He produced the Tinker and the Primes video for us, and he is here from Mexico tonight to share that with you guys. So please enjoy, and let me know if there's any further questions that you have in regards to the chamber, our well-being, and the longevity of Tinker and the Primes. Thank you.
Shannon.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Midwest City Chamber of Commerce and as executive producer of Tinker and the Primes, it is my honor to welcome you to this year's conference, our 20th anniversary, a landmark moment for a landmark mission. What began as a bold idea to connect Tinker Air Force Base with industry leaders has evolved into one of the most respected and results-driven aerospace conferences in this country. This is not just a gathering. It is a proven platform for progress.
We're very thankful for our partners like Northrop Grumman, Boeing, Pratt & Whitney, Eaton, Field Aerospace, and so many more that have helped make Tinker and the Primes what it is the last 20 years. We're deep diving into technology, the supply chain, and ideas that are going to shape the future of aviation. Let's hear from some of our exhibitors. So Warner, do you feel this conference hits on the topics that are most important to your business?
All and every topic that is discussed in this conference is critical, important, and is valuable for things that we could take back to our organization.
The last 20 years have shown us that air power doesn't succeed alone. Readiness, resiliency, innovation, they all start with strong relationships.
Our goal was to really come away with 10 really good contacts with whom we could follow up. We made it.
You've made all 10?
Yeah, we've got 10, at least 10 really good, probably
Wonderful.
more.
For all of us, this has been our first time coming to Tinker and the Primes. Mr. Ramos is from Bogota, Colombia. Tony is from California. Mike is from California. I'm from Warner Robins.
You'd think that we known each other all of our lives, but we actually met here. And we actually had dinner together last night. We've been meeting people together. We've been referring people to each other already. And Tinker and the Prime, I think that's what it's made for.
I feel like, too, when you're at a conference, you have an opportunity to really have some organic conversations where you're not running off to somewhere else.
Welcome to the final day of Tinker and the Primes. What an incredible week it's been.
This is our 20th anniversary, and we can't do this without supporters, exhibitors, and sponsors such as yourself. Can we expect you guys to come back in future years?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
We will be here as many years as you will have us.
The first thing I'll say is, the staff and the hospitality alone has been absolutely incredible. Some of the sweetest people we've met, so it's been really great to speak at this event and really kind of build connections in the industry.
This has been one of the most amazing conferences. People are incredibly excited, really eager to sort of engage with technology and see where things are headed and just open. I feel like this is one of the most tight-knit communities that we've seen in the industry, and so to be able to walk in here as a new company and really be accepted with open arms, that's just been absolutely awesome. So thank you so much, guys, for putting us on.
We couldn't be more excited about the revolution, and so to meet so many people that are also sharing that interest, it's an amazing experience.
We will definitely be back here next year. I would love to do it.
We could not be more proud of the success that we've had this year, from innovation to technology to this amazing production team that put it all on. Thank you so much to the Delta Reed Center, Corey's Audiovisual, and my amazing Tinker and the Primes team. We cannot wait to see everybody back on August 3rd through 6th, 2026. Thank you for making magic happen and securing our national defense.
Good job. Does anyone on the council have any questions of Shannon before she departs?
I have one. Shana, you're to be commended, but getting so many Air Force personnel involved, particularly in light of the fact that I know they've had recent decisions that have come down from the Department of Defense and War strictly limiting the number of personal appearances and public appearances they can make and what they can say when they do come out. It's just the times we live in. So keeping them involved in the community is becoming much more difficult than it used to be. And so thank you for the job that you are doing to maximize the impact when we get the opportunity. So congratulations.
All right. Thank you guys for being here. Anybody else have any questions?
Thank you, Shana.
The Chamber is an integral part of our city and does an amazing job and works with Robert Coleman and bringing in and retaining businesses. So we've been in partnership since the beginning of the city. So it's great to have them on our side. With that being said, Chair, I'd entertain a motion to recess from the Economic Development Authority agenda.
Motion to recess.
We got a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. I now call to order the Midwest City Council agenda. Mr. Lyon, do you have any community announcements?
I do. So starting out, it'll be the Midwest City's 15th Annual Food Drive, October 31st to November 1st, which is this Friday and Saturday at Sam's Club from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day. Please help us to fight hunger in our own backyard. It's something we've done for many years. I've had emails from the Middale Food Pantry that they're working on donations, that supplies are low, and Colonel Harris sent an email out late this week regarding the food pantry on the base, the food supplies are getting low. So there are a lot of places to donate right now, and they're all worthy beneficiaries, but we will be working on this, and we'll be focusing on Thanksgiving with the city this year. Midwest City's Veterans Day Parade will be held on Tuesday, November 11th at 10 a.m. Registrations are ahead of pace compared to last year. We're looking forward to honoring our veterans and their families. Road closures on the parade route that morning will start at 9:30 a.m. And just a reminder, we will not have council meeting on November 11th. Instead, we will have it on November 13th, which is a Thursday of that week. Holiday festivities kick off with Light the City on December 1st from 5:30 to 8 p.m. as we light Regional Park for the first time and open up. We open up for Walk the Lights, which is a really fun event if you've not done that. This is your chance to walk the lights, enjoy crafts, hot chocolate, picks with Santa, and more. Holiday Light Spectacular will run December 2nd through December 28th. It'll be open from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. each night. And then finally, a community open house will occur on November 18th from 6 p.m. to 7:30 at the community center for the Midwest City's comprehensive plan that's under reviews right now. And that's all I have there. Oh, yeah. Hotel Motel Town Hall meeting is November 6th at 6 p.m.
Here in the council chambers.
Yeah, it'll be here in the council chambers. If citizens have questions regarding the upcoming vote for the hotel motel tax, please come to that meeting or submit questions to the city manager's office and we'll get all the answers for you. That's it.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Lyon. We now move into the consent agenda. These items are placed on the consent agenda so council members by unanimous consent can approve routine agenda items by one motion. If any council member requests to discuss an item where there's not unanimous consent, then the item will be removed and heard in regular order. Chair would entertain a motion to approve.
I have two. I'd like to pull 7 and 10, and not necessarily in that order. Can I go out of order a bit?
Yes, ma'am, you can, and if you'll make that in the form of a motion, we'll vote on it.
Make a motion that we, what am I making a motion on?
To approve the consent
To
agenda.
approve the consent agenda except for...
Except for 7, number 7 and number 10. I make the motion. Yes, I want to do 10 first.
No problem.
Okay.
I got a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention. Motion carries. Item number 10, Mr. Lyon.
Discussion, consideration, and possible action of appointing Ms. Tarika Castile Edwards to fill the Ward 3 appointment to the Parks and Recreation Board Committee.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
In your packet, for those who want to read her bio, it's on page 44, and she's here. She's present tonight, and I asked her to stand, please. She called me, and she was worried about how she was going to look. She was running, and I think you look beautiful. I want to say I appreciate you agreeing to serve on this committee. I think these committees are very, very important for the city, and to get citizens willing to do that means a lot. I met her doing my run for this position, knocking doors, and we've had many conversations, and she is very qualified for this position, and I asked the Horseshoe, the committee, to approve her appointment to the Park and Recreation Committee.
I have
Yeah,
one,
that's okay.
I have one comment, and I'll second the motion. But I believe that you are seeking to replace the chair of Kim Templeman. She was in that job before you. And Kim almost single-handedly supported the pickleball courts. She brought it up to the group, and she pestered the group until eventually it got on, and everybody understood that there really was a desire to have a pickleball court in Midwest City. And Josh and his team did the rest and made it happen. But it's to indicate to you that that position can be very powerful. And you can make a difference on that or any of the other boards that people serve on in the city. So I would second your nomination and wish you well in that position.
I have a second, and I have a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention, motion carries. Thanks for serving, ma'am. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next item.
And I will call you.
Item 7, discussion, consideration, and possible action of accepting a grant of permanent easement from Jamil and Tasika Adams across property located at 8508 Northeast 23rd Street in Midwest City, within the Midwest City corporate boundaries. Mr. Streets.
So, Honorable Mayor, council persons, and city manager, this is actually for us to get a water line extension put in. We needed the property. Originally, there was some issues with where the water line was going to be and having to move it. And this is for us to be able to put that water line in on Northeast 23rd, part of the system.
I just had some questions on, is this Oklahoma City property that we're looking at putting this water well in, or is that
It's
ours?
within the Midwest City corporate boundary.
It is Midwest Cities,
Yeah.
okay. And what are we planning to do with that?
It's helping loop the system. This helps give us some pressure. It guarantees adequate pressure and volume, not only for firefighting needs, but also help with water quality.
Okay, so it helps me to know it's our property. So is there a cost to Midwest City? Are we going to be is there a cost attached to this project?
I'll have to ask Carrie. I don't believe so. Donated.
I'm sorry?
Donated.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Any further questions? Chair to entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention, motion carries. We move into the public discussion items of our agenda. Item number 1, Mr. Lyon.
Public hearing, discussion, and consideration and possible action to approve a minor plat for the Midwest City U-Haul for the property located at 7515 and 7525 Southeast 29th Street, Midwest City. Mr. Summers.
Thank you. This is a minor plat. The subject property currently exists as 2 separate lots. The applicant is looking to redevelop the site, potentially demo an existing building and rebuild a new one, which would potentially cross the property boundary between those 2 lots. So what they're asking for today is to plat the property and to consolidate those 2 lots into a single lot. We did advertise a public hearing before the Planning Commission and before the City Council. We received 1 phone call, somebody just asking about what the nature of the application was. There was no support or opposition at the Planning Commission hearing, and the Planning Commission unanimously recommends approval of this item.
Does anyone have any questions, Mr. Summers? Hearing or seeing none, the
Make a
chair-
motion to
Public
approve.
hearing.
I'm sorry. It is a public hearing. Does anyone in the audience have anything to bring before council considering this item? Hearing or seeing none, did you have a question, Mr. Johnson?
I make a motion to approve.
I've got a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention, motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Summers. Item number 2, Mr. Lyons.
Discussion, consideration, and possible action of electing a vice mayor for a term of 2 years.
Ladies and gentlemen, council, Pat Byrne has served as my vice mayor for most of my term. And him and I oppose each other on occasion. But just like Ms. Eads, when we come to a conclusion, we come out together and for the betterment of the community. He acts in my stead when I cannot attend meetings or oversee meetings. He's been a great advocate, and I would ask that the council would reconsider his reappointment as vice mayor.
I agree. Councilman Pat Byrne has done a great job, and I would be honored to make the recommendation for appoint him as vice mayor.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I make a second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Pat, you can't get out of it now. Item number 3, Mr. Lyons.
Discussion, consideration of possible action of approving a resolution and proclamation authorizing the calling and holding of a primary election on February 10th, 2026, if necessary, and a general election on April 7th, 2026 in wards 1, 3, and 5, respectively, for the purpose of electing wards 1, 3, and 5 council members, and all wards for the purpose of electing the mayor, an at-large position in the city of Midwest City, state of Oklahoma, enumerating qualifications for those offices and establishing a filing period.
Mr. City Manager and Mayor, I checked with the city attorney and asked if I could do this, and he said I could. We have an executive session attached to this to talk about filling Ward 1. And I think in order to be transparent, we probably should talk about it now, because the last time we had a position like Ward 1 is now vacant, it was Ward 3 when Councilman Bain left. And there was a stipulation in there that the person that was going to fill that spot had to agree not to run. And Councilman Rita did put in to fill that spot, but since she was wanting to run, she didn't get the temporary appointment. So to be consistent and to follow what is good practice, I believe that if we were to fill that spot, we would have to give anyone that was wanting to take the temporary spot at least some time to put together a resume and get it submitted to the mayor, and then he could vet it and then pass it on to us. And if you think about that, our next council meeting is in 2 weeks, so I think it would be impossible to get that word out and get qualified people to put in. And then do we really want to keep a qualified person from taking that spot by saying you can't run if you take this spot? So it would be my recommendation that we follow what we did the last time and kind of change it a little bit where we don't necessarily fill it, because if you think about it, it would be at least December before we would get a chance to fill the spot. That's going to be after the filing period. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to go through that when in December we may only have one candidate. But even if we had two and it went into an election, it would be February. So I would hate to have someone that really truly wanted to take the spot and then say, no, if you take the spot now, then you can't run for the permanent spot. So I would ask that when we do this, that we incorporate the fact that, and let people know that we don't think it's proper to fill this temporarily, and just let the voters make that decision in February, or the filing time, is who they want to represent them. Because that's basically what we did with Rita. She had to wait and let the voters decide, and I think we need to do that the same way this time.
And to caveat what Mr. Burns said, the time constraint, I've been involved in 3 of these in my tenure. The first 2, the time between the resignation and the loss of the council person and the election was a long time. And although within the statute, it's still a long time, and that allowed them to get ready, or to sit in that seat for a while. The time constraint, like Pat was saying, is very short, and it would not benefit the council to appoint anybody for this shorter time period, and then we can go ahead and let the voters decide who's going to represent Ward 1. So with that being said,
I have a thought.
Yes, ma'am.
Just to clarify the process that we went through before, I did apply for the temporary position because I was told that if I applied for the temporary position and got it, I would not qualify to run for the office. I just want to clear that up. I was rejected, and so that made me run for this position permanently. That's all I wanted to clear up. I think we need to be consistent in what we do. And you know that has been my pet peeve, is we change the rules as we go along, and we're not consistent, and it causes confusion. So my recommendation is to follow the process that we did before.
Okay.
If the person applies, that person cannot run for office.
I also like Councilman Burns' logic, and it makes sense to me, but I have one question for the city attorney. Normally, when there are 7 of us up here, a quorum is 4, correct?
That is correct.
If we have an empty seat, is the quorum still 4, or does it revert to 3?
No, it is at least one more than half of the seats that are filled.
Oh.
Unfortunately, since it's 6,
So it's
that'll
still be 4. Okay.
The only other thing I will add to that is going back just to the proclamation and the resolution. Sarah and I both worked on this. It does meet all state statutory requirements for the calling of both the primary election in February and the general election in April. So this does meet all the state election board requirements and is necessary to be passed so that the state election board can place this on the calendar for those 2 dates.
Okay, is there any further questions or any comments? Yes, Mr. Rice, this is out of order, but go ahead.
Rick Rice, 1410 Pine Ridge Road, Midwest City. This policy that we're talking about, is it policy or is it ordinance? What will the council do if somebody says, I'll serve in the position and not run, and then they choose to run? I don't think you can legally prevent them from running unless you have an ordinance. You may want to consider that. If you're going to pause and not appoint somebody until the next election, you have plenty of time to get that on the books.
If somebody were to be nominated to be in the position and be selected to temporarily hold it and then decide that they're going to run, there is nothing that can be done from a legal standpoint. From a public relations standpoint, it could get quite messy quite fast.
Yes, but
from a legal standpoint, Mr.
Right.
Rice is correct.
And you can appoint when there's less than half the term remaining. So somebody could be there for 2 years and then decide, I like this job, and run. So if that's what you want to do, I would encourage that you look at maybe fashioning an ordinance. And I take no position either way on whether you do that, but we've seen crazier things happen. So.
Well, thank you, Rick. Appreciate it. Well, once again, in the sake of consistency and being consistent in our policy, once again, it would be in the best interest, in my opinion, of the city council to hold that seat open until the election. So with that being said, Chair to entertain a motion to approve the resolution as written.
Motion.
Go ahead and do a roll call vote, Susan.
Ward 2?
Yes.
Ward 3? Ward 4?
Yes.
Ward 6?
Yes. Thank you, council, for moving ahead with that.
And Don, this includes approving
Both the resolution and the proclamation,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, move into, and Rick, that could be something you can look into later on. Item number 4, Mr. Lyons.
Discussion, consideration, possible action of approving an ordinance amending the Midwest City Municipal Code, Chapter 32, Peddlers and Solicitors, Article 3, Foodstuffs, Section 32-60, Food Truck License Required, and Article 5, Special Events, Section 3296A, Food Trucks, and providing for a repealer and severability. Mr. Meisch.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. A couple of meetings ago, I came before the council and said there are 3 different ordinances, or 3 different state statutes due to their passage by the Oklahoma legislature where city ordinances needed to be changed. One dealt 2 months ago with daycares. Last month dealt with the Code Enforcement Lien Act. This is the last one dealing with food trucks. The legislature passed the Food Truck Freedom Act that goes into effect November 1st, and also passed a second bill that requires those food trucks that either have grease-laden or smoke production to be inspected annually by the State Fire Marshal's Office. So based on that, staff and myself sat down and took a look at our food truck program. Based off of that program, we found that at the present time, we have 19 licensed food trucks within the city of Midwest City. Currently, our ordinances require that you have a municipal license to operate as a food truck within the city. We draw $150 per food truck annually for a grand total of $2,850. In speaking with staff, many of them had a hard time quantifying how much time they spent, but did spend a considerable amount of time with food trucks. One group that, though, did not have a problem quantifying was the fire department, because we do have 5 food trucks that they routinely have to deal with. And the number of hours that they spent on that required them to expend quite a bit of time and resources in the amount of a little over $2,300, which goes to show that currently we are not making any money off of food trucks, and that led us to either 2 choices. Either A, we needed to increase the amount of fees that we're charging for food trucks, probably exponentially, maybe pricing ourselves out of the business, or B, letting the state handle their situation and then us identifying those situations in which we wanted to handle and have information from food trucks. Staff chose B. And so what this ordinance does is it strikes the requirement for a license and a fee for food trucks to participate or to do business here in Oklahoma. What it does, though, require is that either for special events or when a food truck is going to be operating on city property, that they have to meet certain requirements, and those requirements are all listed in the ordinance. Each one of those requirements that is listed is what is required by state law. So the city county health department permits required by state law. The need for the inspection by the fire marshal's office is required by state law. The need, if you're going to cook with and fire with compressed gas, that state agency's permit is required by state law. The need to put trash receptacles or to meet noise requirements are all state law requirements. We just identified those also in our city ordinance so our city staff could also enforce those as well. As I said, we did not put any additional fee. What we did say is that if you have a special events permit, it becomes incumbent upon that person who seeks that permit for that special event to get that information from the food trucks and make sure that they supply it to the city. Obviously, if it's a city event or on city property, it would be up to the city to obtain that information. That will be all handled by our Parks and Recs department is agreed to undertake that process for this. So we think that this is a fair way to go about it. We are pulling back somewhat on food trucks, allowing food trucks to operate. I can tell you from a staff position, when we talked about it, staff felt like we were having a difficult time having food trucks come into the city, and they were wanting to encourage more food trucks to try to come into the city and make them available for events that we have here. So that is the purpose and the reasoning behind these changes. The changes, as I said, will remove our city permit, and if there is an issue with a food truck that is either not at a special event or on city property or at a city event, and we find out about it, we will refer that to the proper state agency that oversees that. With that, I'll be happy to take any questions.
So, ladies and gentlemen of the council, this is a perfect example of preemptive legislation that comes out of the state legislature every year. They've taken local control out of the situation and put it under the control of 3 other state agencies who are not going to be in Midwest City inspecting these trucks. So,
and just so you know, we don't have the ability any longer to inspect those. That was specifically written in the Food Truck Freedom Act. We can't inspect them. We don't have that ability
and I can assure you, nobody from the Oklahoma State Health Department, Fire Marshal's office, or anywhere else is going to be out here looking at our trucks. So there you go, and we're going to have to deal with it. So if there's no other questions,
I have a question.
Sure.
Is there any reason to believe that the confidence level of the public's safety is compromised at all by these changes?
Generally speaking, no. Provided that the food truck has its city county health department license to operate, and it's required to display that license at any given time when they are operating. They have, as the former general counsel of the health department, I can tell you that there are considerable rules and regulations that govern food trucks. They come down from the Food and Drug Administration. They are adopted into state regulation, and food trucks are required to operate that way, provided that they don't run afoul of the Food Truck Freedom Act. Now, have I gone through and done a comparison between what the Food Truck Freedom Act allows and what is in the city, county, or in the state health department regs? I've not. And it's been 7 years and since I've done that, or 8 years now, so there's been a bit of a gap in there. So some things could have changed, but in my opinion, since those requirements are required by FDA, and they have to meet certain FDA requirements as adopted by the state health department, I don't think confidence is going to be any greater or any less than what it is under the current situation.
So you go to a food truck, Don, in Midwest City, and you feel like it's something is off?
Mhm.
You have questions or concerns?
Mhm.
Who do we call now? Who will a member of the public call?
Call two groups. One would be, you'd probably call the city county health department here in Oklahoma County. And if you believe that the quality of the food is potentially making you ill and you're getting involved with a foodborne illness, you can also call our parks department and report that, and then we would work through that process. And if we found such a thing through our staff, we would report that to the city county and work with the city county health department on that.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Chair will entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
And a motion and a second, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention, motion carries. Next item, Mr. Lyon.
Discussion, consideration, and possible action of approving agreement through the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Program, RFP 113021, with Banner Fire for refurbishing the fire department's ladder number 6 at a cost not to exceed $878,944.85. Chief Beebout.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, this evening, yes, that item is to approve that contract through Sourcewell. A little bit of a history lesson. Over the last 4 or 5 years, we have seen a dramatic increase in the purchase price of new apparatus. To give you a little bit of a history, Ladder 6 was originally built in 2012. It's an HP 75-foot aerial ladder apparatus built by E1. In 2012, we paid $850,000 for that apparatus, brand new, and it took 1 year to deliver. Fast forward to now, if I were to order that truck now, it would cost $1.7 million, and it would take 3 years to deliver. So 4 years ago, the fleet services manager, myself, Greg Davis, and myself, we started to try to come up with a plan to address this issue, because obviously those kinds of numbers are not sustainable with our tax base. And what we came up with, and we actually visited the site where the refurbishment will be done. We saw what the trucks look like going into the building. We saw what the trucks look like going out of the building. We also understand that there are probably a half a dozen or more NFPA standards that regulate refurbishment. So this is not Jimmy Joe Bob and baling wire and duct tape and bubble gum. This is by the OEM manufacturer, so they will be OEM parts that will be refurbished to OEM specs. So the refurbishment you see there is $878,000. Now that includes a $25,000 contingency money. So what a refurbishment, what we're asking Banner to do through E1 is a bumper to bumper. They're going to tear the motor down to the block. They're going to ship the transmission back to Allison. They're going to ship the pump back to Waterrest. They're actually going to remove the aerial device from the truck, disassemble, completely inspect and repair, and reassemble that truck. Now we will have it repainted. It will look like the newer trucks in our fleet. We're about 18 months early. We had planned for this in 2027. Go back to August, and we got news out of Fleet that we had about $28,000 in normal expected repairs from the chassis or the truck itself, and a $32,000 repair for a wear item in the aerial system of the truck. So rather than spend that $60,000 now to have those repairs done, and then 18 months later pay to have them done again under the refurbishment, we approached the city manager with a plan for funding, got approval from him, and we now present it to you this evening for approval.
So let me throw a couple of things on top of this. We've been successful at Public Works with sending out a couple of sanitation trucks back to the factory for refurbishment. Worked very well. It was a good investment. For this is not a Midwest City problem. This is a national problem. There's a great video that we call Ward 7 over there, Glenn Goldslager, that sent us. That's really interesting. I've been reading articles about how difficult the long builds are on the other fire departments nationwide, and the impact it's having everywhere from the city of Los Angeles to Midwest City, Oklahoma. And we think this is a very good investment for us, and we can turn this truck around for our use compared to waiting 3 years and spending $2 million very quickly and effectively.
Yes, sir.
Chief, approximate time for the refurbishment?
12 to 14 months.
I have a question, especially based on what Rick just said. I brought it up to you. There's 2 dates in the contract. Sourcewell expires in February of next year, but the banner doesn't, it's going to be 12 to 14 months. Is there an issue with the fact that, are we going to have another contract with Sourcewell? Because that expires in February.
Yeah. We'll look at Dawn.
No, once we enter into this contract, as long as we do it by February, we're good with Sourcewell. Now, we may have to re-up with Sourcewell again come February. Understand, Sourcewell is a regional cooperative. What does that mean? They pull together communities from all over the Midwest, upper Midwest area. They're based out of Minnesota. And state statute allows municipalities and all governmental entities to use cooperative purchasing programs like this to stretch the dollar further. And so while our agreement and our issues with Sourcewell may be expiring in February, and that's what you see, and we can have, as long as we enter into this contract today, we'll be good. And then we have the contract with Banner that will stretch through the actual work that is being done.
I just don't want us to get pushed back because
No.
we're waiting on this
Right, no.
renewal.
Not at all.
Chief, I was fully prepared to give you a hard time over this, but you kind of took the wind out of myself. But I do have a question. You know, 10 years ago, you brought forth a long-term purchasing program for the fire department to ensure that we had enough money set aside, and when we needed a new truck, and that we wouldn't have to jump through hoops to get the money, we'd have it in place and be able to purchase it. How does this interfere with that long-term plan?
Well, that initial plan that we continue to operate under today has been completely devastated by these price increases. So what we're searching for with this refurbishment is to extend the life. So a typical 15 to 20 years is what we consider the frontline service life, and then it's replaced, and then we get another 5 to 10 years out of it in a reserve status. So what we're looking at and what we're planning is that the new formula for us, until something changes, is that we replace, refurbish, replace. So instead of, replace, it's replace, refurbish, replace, especially with the aerial ladder trucks. Because
So are you going to have to set aside more money out of your budget to accomplish that goal? How's that going to work?
Well, I will say this, the foresight of the council and the city management team to put forth the bond that had $3.5 million in it for the fire department 2 years before COVID was, somebody up there's got a crystal ball, because that absolutely saved us, and the support of the citizens, obviously, with their vote and approval. So, that some of that bond debt is retiring, and there may be another GO bond on the horizon, but we will, again, until something breaks, we will be almost dependent on bonds moving forward.
Okay.
We will, let me be more specific to that. We will need the bond to create that breathing space, or else we will continue to be at the last notch on our belt.
Well, what I'd like for us, of course, it'll be for a future council, but to prevent the catastrophe that we had when I came into office, where you all had borrowed money from the city and we were paying it back on interest.
Sure.
And if you recall, that was a big deal. And so your toys are expensive, Chief.
The necessary fire suppression equipment for the protection of the city, yes, sir.
I swear. Does anybody have any questions of the chief? Any harassment?
I make a motion to approve the necessary required fire suppression apparatus for the city.
I would second that.
For you, second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
I abstain. Motion carries.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
Chief, for your time.
He was kidding.
I'm kidding. Let's see. Item number 6, Mr. Lyon.
Discussion, consideration of possible action of entering into an agreement to purchase approximately 2.75 acres located at 8722 Southeast 15th Street at a cost of $990,000 plus closing costs. This is the D&D Automotive that we talked about earlier, next to the Public Works facility, that we need to continue to operate and expand our operations at Public Works. So this is exactly what we talked about.
Woo.
Right.
I've got a motion. Do I have a second?
I second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion. You didn't even.
Thank you.
See, you didn't even have to wear your
He
belt.
can continue to stand there.
Item number 7, Mr. Lyons.
Discussion, consideration, of possible action on approving a federal aid program resolution to make eligible an application for inclusion into the Transportation Improvement Plan for a project to restripe various locations throughout the city known as Striping Project Number 9. Mr. Streets.
So this resolution is required for us to be able to throw our name in the hat to get some funding for striping. In this particular case, Gary's looking to try to get striping from Sooner to Midwest on Reno. That's an example of an area that we'd like to get striped. Obviously, I know everybody's worried about the striping at 15th and Sooner. If anybody's ever seen that, that's actually currently being put together with a package to get bid. Obviously, the striping is really important to our community, and if we don't stay on top of this, it would be very difficult to manage. I would be willing to answer any questions.
I have just one question. Is which type of striping are we doing here? Is it the paint or the plastic?
It's going to depend upon what best suits the application. We've got some cases where the thermoplastic works well, except that when we go to clean snow off the roads, it gets peeled up pretty easily. So whatever's going to be the best, if there's a technology with the contractor that's better for that application, that's what we'll use.
And we farm all this work out. We don't
Yes, we
have
do not
any of the
do-
machinery.
We don't do it in-house.
All right. Thank you. I second the motion to approve.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Now move into new business public discussion. Does anyone have anything to bring before council? Hearing or seeing none, we're hereby adjourned.
Oh, we got the executive session.
Is that one?
Oh, wait a minute, that's the one we don't need.
That's the one we don't
Yeah.
need, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
We are hereby adjourned, and I call to order the Midwest City Municipal Authority. We have a consent agenda. These items are placed on the consent agenda, so the trustees, by unanimous consent, can approve routine agenda items by one motion. If any trustee requests to discuss an item, or there is not unanimous consent, then the item will be removed and heard in regular order. Chair to entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. We now move into new business public discussion. Does anyone have anything to bring before the authority? Hearing or seeing none, we're hereby adjourned. I call to order the Midwest City Hospital Authority. There's 2 discussion items. Mr. Lyon.
Number 1, discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve the meeting minutes for September 23rd, 2025.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Item number 2.
No action needed.
No action needed. Number 2, we now move into new business public discussion. Does anyone have anything to bring before the authority? Hearing or seeing none, we're hereby adjourned. And I call back to order Special Economic Development Authority. We have one discussion item, Mr. Lyons.
Discussion, consideration, of possible action approving the minutes for August 26, 2025.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. We now move into public discussion. Does anyone have anything to bring before the authority? Hearing or seeing none, we do have an executive session attached to this agenda. Mr. Lyon.
Discussion, consideration, of possible action of one entering into executive session is allowed under 25 OS 307C11 to confer on matters pertaining to economic development, including the transfer of property, financing, or creation of a proposal to entice a business to remain or locate within the city, Project Charlie, and in open session authorizing the general manager and administrator to take action as appropriate based on the discussion in executive session.
I would ask that we go on to the next agenda and then come back to the executive session.
Motion to go to the next agenda and then come back to discuss executive session.
A motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. There's no public discussion on this, and we're hereby adjourned. I call to order the special Midwest City Utilities Authority.
Hang on, we're recessed, because we'll come back to executive session.
Okay, we're recessed from that Thank you for that correction. We're recessed from that agenda, and now I call to order the special meeting of the Midwest City Utilities Authority. We have one discussion item.
Discussion and consideration of possible action to approve the meeting minutes for July 22nd, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. We do have public discussion. Does anyone have anything to bring before the Utilities Authority? Hearing or seeing none. I'll reconvene the Special Economic Development Authority. and
Before
move-
you, Mr. Mayor, before you do that, you need to vote to go into executive session under the Utilities Authority. Utilities Authority has, this-
Okay.
has an executive
For the
session.
same project, Charlie.
Need a motion to go into executive session on Project Charlie.
Motion to go into executive session on Project Charlie.
I got a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carried. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in executive session. Thank you for being here, and have a good night.